Hi, I'm Young Jakatade. You may remember me from such videos as how to actually pass the BCS Foundation certificate. I'm a working BA, and here are 5 things I actually built using AI that are all mapped to the BCS Foundation certificate in business analysis. Let's begin. So first up, we have questionnaires. Questionnaires are one of the investigation techniques in area 1 of the syllabus. BCS tests whether you know when to use them. So if you've got a large audience and you've got standardized questions and you need quantitative data. What I did, so I needed to gather information from users about how they were using a specific product. Instead of writing the questionnaire from scratch, I used AI to generate the questions based on what I needed to actually find out. Then I used Google Forms to send it out and Google App Scripts to automatically process responses and email a summary of the responses to the relevant stakeholders. So as a BA, I still decided what to ask and who to send it to. AI just helped me write better questions faster and automate the processing. The investigation technique here is the same. The execution, though, is 10 times faster. Look, I'm going to say this as a prerequisite now. Every one of these things does not replace you in your role as a business analyst. It just helps you do these things quicker. AI, although it's fantastic, I use it every day, it's not perfect. It often hallucinates. You often have to re-prompt and re-ask questions. So human oversight is still needed. But what you can do is use AI to do the things you need to do a lot quicker, review, correct, and we're off to the races. Okay, number 2, we've got process mapping. So process modeling in general sits in area 2. BCS tests whether you can identify process levels, swim lanes, decision points, and bottlenecks. What I did, I described a business process to AI in plain English. So just for example, a customer places an order, the warehouse checks stock. If it's in stock, they pick and pack. If it's not in stock, they back order and then dispatch emails to the customer. So AI generated a complete process workflow with decision points, swim lanes, all of that for each department, and identified where the handoff delays were. Then I drew it up properly in a diagramming tool. So AI gave me the first draft of this in 30 seconds. That would have taken me an hour to map, or maybe even longer, to map from scratch. But I still had to validate it with the actual people doing the work. So the process on paper is never really the process in reality. And that's what BAs know and what AI doesn't. Example number 3, stakeholder communication. So stakeholder management is area 3 of the foundation syllabus. BCS tests the power interest grids, RACI charts, and managing different stakeholder types. So what did I do? I had a very difficult stakeholder, high power, but very low interest. This is the type of stakeholder that can easily kill a project. And they definitely didn't want to be bothered with details. So what I needed to do was write up an update that kept them satisfied without actually overwhelming them. So I used AI to draft 3 versions of the same update. A one-liner for the director, a paragraph summary for the program manager, and a detailed breakdown for the project team. Same information, 3 different audiences, tailored in under 2 minutes. So again, as a working BA, not someone that's just online talking about it, or not someone that's trying to fleece you for some money, as someone who actually does this work day in, day out, I knew who needed what level of detail because I'd done the stakeholder analysis previously. All AI is doing for me is writing the words a bit faster. But knowing, for example, what quadrant someone sits in and what strategy to use, that's the real BA skill. And AI doesn't know your stakeholders. You have to know your stakeholders. I will just also add, this is one of the benefits of using AI. So for me, if I go sit down and speak to a number of stakeholders, a lot of the time, say I've got some information I need to get from them. Obviously, to ensure that I still have rapport, you end up talking. How are you? How's the wife and kids? How you doing? How's your boyfriend? All of this stuff. How's the weather? And ultimately those conversations, initial conversations, icebreaker, breaking the ice, are important. However, a lot of times an hour meeting can very quickly devolve into 45 minutes of just chatting breeze, of just speaking, especially if you have stakeholders who like you, which is great, or are exceptionally or especially chatty. So the benefit of using AI in general is it gives you more time to have these conversations and not worry that you're going to have to make up the time later down the road. That's the key benefit for me as a working BA. It's that I know, okay, AI is going to help me with reduce the time this has taken by 30 to 40%, so I can have those conversations. I can afford to ask them a little bit more details about their life in general, just how they are, and sort of build up rapport. It's not going to cost me in terms of time because AI is going to help me with that. And it will also mean, hopefully, when it comes time for me to implement a change or do something that they may not be fully on board with, they give me a little bit of a break because we have that relationship built up already. Okay, example 4 is requirements. So this is area 4 of the syllabus. It covers functional and non-functional requirements. So here we're talking about Moscow prioritization and the requirements engineering framework. After a workshop, I had tons and tons and tons of messy notes. Stakeholders talking over each other, contradicting each other, changing their minds mid-sentence. So what I did, I pasted the raw notes into AI and asked it simply to extract the requirements from this, separate functional and non-functional requirements, and flag any contradictions. In 2 minutes, I had a structured requirements list that would have taken half a day to write up manually. And it even spotted 2 requirements that contradicted each other that I had missed. So I still ran the workshop. I still asked the questions. I still knew what specifically to probe on and dig deeper. However, AI cleaned up my notes and structured the output. But the elicitation, that human interaction, reading the room, knowing when someone's holding back, knowing who's not engaging, knowing when to push and when not to, when to fall back, that's all me. That's all the work of a business analyst. I'm telling you guys, a lot of this work is your soft skills and your communication. Once you've passed the foundation, scratch that. Once you know the information in the foundation syllabus, all you're doing is applying this a lot of the skills you would already have from your other work, your day-to-day life, into a business analysis and a business setting. Okay, the final one, example number 5, we're going to look at gap analysis and solution design. This is area 7, so we're looking at gap analysis using the POPIT model, people, organization, processes, information, and technology, and we're looking at defining solutions. So I was looking at a problem where a small business was losing customers. So I used AI to help me run it through a POPIT model. Where are the people gaps? Is this skills, training? Where are the organization gaps? Is it structure? Is it reporting? Where are the process gaps now? So we're looking at inefficiencies and bottlenecks. And more importantly, which I think is very important for BAs nowadays, is the technology gaps. Are there any outdated systems? So AI helped me structure the analysis and then generate 3 solution options with pros and cons for each. I even used AI to build a working prototype of one solution. And this is what I've been advising you guys to do as well. The technology is there. We have the power. We have the technology. Use it to make prototypes of solutions. It always wows clients, what I found working independently and even in a work, more corporate office culture. It just makes you seem like someone that's switched on and is about their business. So the POPIT framework, that comes from BCS Foundation knowledge. The AI doesn't know to use POPIT. I told it to use POPIT. And that's really the key difference here. The framework is the thinking. AI is the one executing. But without the framework, you're just asking AI to guess. With it, you're asking AI, you're directing AI to analyze systematically. And again, the key point here is you have to know the difference. If you don't know what POPIT is and AI spews out some nonsense and you go present this to your stakeholders, you're cooked essentially. The pattern in every single one of these examples is I knew what technique to use from the foundation syllabus. AI just helped me do it faster. The BA who understands the fundamentals and can also use AI is the one that's going to be wanted, the one in demand. The BA who uses AI without understanding why is the one who's going to get replaced. If you want to see where you stand on the fundamentals, I have a free foundation readiness quiz. The link is in the description. You can also go to bastat.com. That's it for now. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.